And hi everyone, welcome to Tech Down Over. Today we are, well, Harold and I are actually in lockdown right now because California got put into lockdown because of the COVID virus. We don't know how, it's not martial law, but we're getting close. And joining us today is Geoff Blanchard from the land where everyone is free. Not really. You guys are semi-lockdown, right?
Semi-lockdown, yes.
Semi-lockdown, yeah. Here we go. Let's see what's going on this week. And Harold Muliati will be joining us as well. This show is sponsored by Relate Corporation, specializing in digital learning, corporate video, management consulting, and more. Visit us at www.relate.com. And we are back, and what a week it's been. Viruses, this, that. You'd almost think there's no tech news. I don't think there was. Not much.
Well, there was one bit of important thing that happened as well. That I don't know whether it's because they've probably got all the production all ramped up and they've got tons of stock and they can't sell it now, but the new iPad Pro was
it
came
looks
out.
nice. Yeah.
And it said I thought that was quite strange in this climate, but maybe they've got them all ramped up and they're just sat in the warehouse.
They have to.
So
yeah.
Because that looks really nice. The extra features that they've done with the new update. The actual machine doesn't look much different, but just a slightly better chip.
Well, it has a better chip on it. Also, OLED, the OLED display. Which is nice.
Also, like the standard one only had a 4 gigabyte memory, and you had to get the 1 terabyte to have the 6. But now it's standard with a 6.
Oh, okay.
Not terabyte, megabyte memory, not terabyte memory.
Yeah.
But 6 megabyte memory, but 1 terabyte storage you had to get.
Okay.
But now it's that on all of them. But
so what are they charging for that? I haven't seen the price.
Well, it's probably it's the same as the other one. The other one's just gone down a little bit. But now the best thing that they've done is what they've got, the Magic, you know how they call everything, the Magic keyboard for the iPad Pro. And what that is, it's the same keyboard that they put on with a trackpad for the 16-inch MacBook Pro.
Oh,
and that's
interesting.
about $349 yours, so it's not cheap, but they've introduced a trackpad support for the iPad. So when you've got it on there, when you do the trackpad, you get a dot, like a cursor, so full sort of mouse support for it. And in that case, it's got the USB-C inside the case, so you're not using just that one connection. So you've still got that for your power, and the other one for putting your hard drive and all that in it. But
nice.
It's really worth seeing because it looks like it's really coming more like a little mini laptop that you can just quickly pull out of that and use it as a normal iPad.
Is it still 13 inches?
12.9. Was it 12.9?
Okay.
It's the same size as it has, but they've improved the speakers and that, and they say that's even better on.
And it had nice speakers already. But the OLED screen is going to make it look beautiful. I imagine probably Samsung's making the OLEDs from them. Would not be surprised since they're making the OLEDs for the iPhone.
But it's I still love the MacBook Pro, the 16-inch. But still, when you look at that iPad Pro, you think, well, really, do I need it? If I like the MacBook Pro for the power it's got, but for those things that would I be sat here at my desk with the iMac, which would do that anyway? Yeah. Or
did you buy the 16-inch MacBook Pro?
No, I want to. That's what
I
want to but with all this trouble going around the world with the markets going down, the Australian dollar got to 53 US cents. So $1. We closed at 59, so we went up, I think, but it went. So I thought, oh my God! So I'm not moving out of this country for some time.
Oh God!
Don't worry, our dollar might follow yours. Not too.
Yeah, we don't know. So far, they're artificially keeping it up, but I don't know how long they can do that.
Well, if yours goes down, then mine will be worth more.
That's true. Yeah.
But at the moment, the MacBook Pro for about $3,400 your money, that's about 6,200 mine
Yeah.
on that. But yeah, but it's about the same sort of. But you can't say, well, it's hugely different. It's just the exchange rates and all that.
Right,
So
but if you get a fully loaded one, it's more like 6,000, I think, 5 or 6,000.
7,000, yes. But the thing is, that's with me cutting it down, because what I would like, I wanted the highest processor. I would want the 64 gigabyte of RAM. Not that I need it, but I'm scared that you can't upgrade it later. So I would want the highest you can get. And then I'll put a 4 terabyte hard drive in it. This was the 7,000, but you can put an 8 terabyte, but I can't afford about the $10,000 for it. And I thought that's ridiculous. I thought that's one I could leave out there, because the 4, if you need more, you can plug in most of the things you plug in.
See, I'd rather get 2 4s than 1 8, but they don't let you put 2 in. So
no, it's only the one. But 1 4 would do, because on my current MacBook, I put a 2 terabyte hard drive in, and that's more than. If you've got anything huge,
you
really
could always get. I have one of these on my iMac at work. It's called the OWC. What is it called? It's a micro something, or micro station, or anyway, it's a micro NAS. It's a small NAS. It's only about that big, so maybe 3-4 inches, and it's about that high. It's very small, and it has 4 MME cards. So you've got the SSD, the small MME cards. They're fast. I got the Intel ones. They run really nicely, and it gives you. What do we get? I think I only have 8 terabytes of data. So you can do quite a bit of editing with 8 terabytes, so I'm not worried about that. It's a lot cheaper than getting, for example, another Drobo. Because Drobo, you pay about $600-700 for the box itself, and then you have to pay for all the drives. And if you do SSDs, it really gets expensive with the big ones. So this thing for it was about $600-700, has 8 terabytes plus the box it comes in. Not bad. And it just plugs into a USB 3.
But the thing is, like you're saying, that when you get to that where you need that storage stuck on your desk, so you'd be on your iMac anyway, so that doesn't come into it usually. No. You want something that maybe just that you can on the fly take something in with the laptop itself. So I think 4 terabytes.
And you can buy SSD, like Samsung SSD drives or SanDisk. They're about maybe 3-4 inches long. They have a little notch so you could attach them to something if you want. And they plug directly into USB 3, and you get 2 terabytes for about $600-700.
Yeah, and that's more than enough for a project. You put all your because most of the things you haven't got more than that for a whole project, and that's overkill if you've got that. But you can throw that on there and go and do that. But I am still looking. I do love that 16-inch MacBook Pro, and plus the fixed up the keyboard where everybody was complaining about before. But now they say they love the keys that they have on that, and that's good to see that they're doing it on that Magic Keyboard for the iPad. But if you ever look at that, you'll be really impressed, because it lifts it up off the thing and that, and it's as I said, with that trackpad support, it's going to make a real big difference to the way people use the iPad Pro.
Yeah, well, with this economy and the way it is, we're not buying anything right now.
No, that's what I was looking.
Everybody's like, no, I'm not risking anything. Well, we've got too much debt as it is, so we're not risking anymore.
There was a YouTube I saw last night. Somebody said, I came across a poor gentleman walking down the street, crying his eyes out. I said, what's wrong? He said, I've got down to my last 400 rolls of toilet paper. And he said, oh God. He said, how times have changed.
People are nuts. Well, now if you go to the market, they ration you only two packages of 6 packs of toilet tissue. Period. You can't take any more. It's insane. And the markets do have a lot of food, so people are buying food for 6 months worth. It's like, oh, come on.
Well, people. And I don't know if it's like yours, like at our place, our supermarkets are getting to pretty much empty. But not the problem. We ain't got the stuff. It's just they've got tons of stuff in all the warehouses, but they can't keep it on the shelf long enough. It's like
people are just insane. No. Harold went out. What'd you do the other day? 3 supermarkets?
Oh, that was last weekend, I think, already.
Yeah.
Yeah, that where I was trying to find butter and I couldn't find it. I had to go to like 3 different grocery stores. Well, yeah, actually, just this morning today, I was thinking to get something from our Costco near here, and I drove by it, and I asked someone there what's going on. The line was wrapping around the store 6 times. There must have been thousands of people waiting to get in, and this was almost 2 hours before opening.
Oh gosh.
But the thing is, we're here talking about tech, and you would think in this day and age, when something like this would come up, tech would jump in and would say, okay, we know the essentials that we know people go crazy when they do that. Let's start, and we've got all the technology that the people have got pension cards, and let the pension card, the frail and all that, get in there on their own. You can restrict people on that. We know what people are buying, and we know what's around there, and just do it first off, and don't let people strip the places first.
Well, that's a good question. That's a good comment, because they have started doing that here. A lot of places are opening, like Costco, I think, is opening an hour early only for seniors.
Same here.
And I think some of the supermarkets are doing that too. And, they still get rationed. They can't take 400 rolls of toilet tissue, but they get in quickly so they can get food and other supplies within reason. And then, of course, everybody else can go in. But Leslie went to the supermarket by us. It's a Ralph's, which is part of Kroger. They're a big chain. And she said most of the shelves looked pretty okay yesterday. Things were missing, but on the whole, she was able to get everything she wanted. So I told her, why didn't you get more? She goes, oh, I was lazy. No, get more. Because she didn't get enough food. And I said, just in case some idiots take all the food, you want some food. But yeah, it's sort of interesting. People are panicking as always.
What amazes me, though, is, in all the rest of the time, with the way we buy things and that, there's tons of eggs on the things, tons of this. But all of a sudden, people are thinking, and flour. I've never bought flour in the past 20 years. I don't know about you. But now flour you can't get, and eggs. And I thought, what is everybody going to start baking cakes and doing all that? And as I said, but why? And like, personally, when I go to the supermarket, most of the things I want are still there, because of all the other things. I thought, why all of a sudden people don't like pasta, but now that because it's there, it lasts a long time.
Right.
Yeah.
They're all doing that. But I thought, and all the things, like I always used to buy canned vegetables, because I didn't mind it. But canned vegetables. Now everybody's
the cans are all gone in there.
Yeah. Well,
and I'll tell you one thing you'll never die from, because I love it and nobody else does, is spam. There's nobody's taking that. Oh, and all spurky, spiced turkey.
Spam, spurky. Spam, if you have the heart of a Hawaiian. Spam is big in Hawaii. It's huge. It is. It's a delicacy over there.
Yeah, and among most Asians, like I like spam.
Yeah, see,
we have spam at home.
If you get time, listen to the Monty Python sketch on spam with the Viking singing with the spams.
Spam a lot.
Go to a restaurant. What did they say to the restaurant? They said, "Oh, what do you want, love?" He said, "I'll have spam, 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 baked beans and spam." I don't like baked beans. Oh, well, I'll have spam instead then.
It's interesting. But there was a show this week from remember J.P. Morgan? He's been long. Yes. We have to get him back on. J.P. Morgan from the Slanted Lens. Maybe Howard, you can put that on the show notes. J.P. Morgan, the Slanted Lens, and he was talking about what to do in this situation, because video people, photographers are getting wiped out right now. These are not people who usually are rich and can, it's a day-to-day business sometimes. They don't always work real hard and heavy. It's seasonal sometimes. And they said, look, call the vendors you owe money to, offer to pay a little bit, even if you can't. Just try to keep it going. Don't sell your gear. He's saying, don't sell your gear, because if you do, you're going to have a hard time getting it back, and you may never get it back. So keep it for now. Do what it takes to keep things going. And he says, the key is to communicate. Make sure you talk to people, let them know the situation. Don't just give up. Just, hang in there, because contracts have gone away. You can't congregate, you can't go places, you can't meet with people. So a lot of video shooting is now forbidden. And if they catch you, they'll probably either give you a fine or arrest you. So anything's possible. So that is really hurting the creatives and especially the video and photo markets.
Yeah, especially wedding photographers, because weddings are something that have been really cracked down on.
Yep. Yeah. And some weddings are continuing without photographers. And they're just saying, well, we're going to continue anyway.
Yeah.
But they're doing it privately because you're not allowed to congregate more than, what is it? It's over 50 people, I think.
It varies by
area,
for
right?
example, Orange County, any public gathering of any number of people is banned.
Any number. So 2 people hanging out in a street, trouble.
If it's considered to be a public gathering, I guess.
Wow.
Then if they determine that, then they can put them in jail for 6 months or whatever.
6 months. That's going to cost no money, right?
Yeah, and put you in jail. That would be ironic. They put me in jail for meeting with Harold and Rick. We get put into jail, and then they're letting out murderers because it's dangerous because they're catching a disease in the prison. But we're in there for me.
How stupid is that? Of course, New York is a very stupid state when they do things like they released half the murderers, everybody. It's like, what the hell? And they're doing that in California too. They're nuts. So now you put crazy people on the street who want to kill people, and you say, isn't this great? But if you're a normal person who just wants to get, some film or whatever, not film, but, get another camera or something. You went to a store, we must arrest you. It's like, what? So it gets stupid.
Yeah, and in our county, if you're over age 75 and found outside, you could be imprisoned for up to 6 months.
Yeah, or fined.
70.
Yeah,
And
75. If you're 75, or if you're 70 and sick.
Yeah.
Oh, I suppose that's gone to the laws because suicide's illegal, so they're treating that as though it's suicide because you're going out on that, so you're not allowed to do that.
Death by virus. Death by virus. Come to me, virus.
The thing is, it's quite strange with the closing the schools and that, but
I know.
It's hard to know what's right because, like they're saying as well, some people say, okay, if you close the schools, you're going to have thousands of kids running around.
Yep.
They're not susceptible to the disease for it, but they could still spread it around. So where do kids go when they're not at school? They get thrown with their grandparents to look after them.
Yeah. No, that is it.
Because they said that's a problem. They're better off being in school because they said they're probably not getting it as much because they're already getting all the diseases with the kids being together. And that's good. As I said, but if you separate them, they'll spread it all. But you don't know what to do. But then they'll say, well, it might spread even further in there. You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Yeah, and that's a good point. And it just makes me think that a lot of the stuff that's being done, it feels like they're making it up as they go.
They are.
And they should have had measures in place for these kinds of things already.
They do. It's called martial law.
Yeah.
We don't know what to do, so we'll just kill you all.
Oh, well, that's easy to do martial law. Then they don't have to worry about lawsuits or anything, do they? They just say, just obliterate the ones who just disobey.
Yeah, sorry, we're under martial law, and therefore you must be exterminated. But I'm not ill. You will be.
But the great thing, though, with technology, though, it allows, like as I said, a lot of people to work remotely. But I think some of the good things that will come out of this will allow people to use the technology a bit more smarter.
Maybe.
And then they'll realize that you can do different things on that. But also, like you said about the photographers, I think the economy might, like even if it was over tomorrow and everything went back, it's never going to be the same because also as well, I don't know about you, but I always live my life as tomorrow might be my last paycheck. I don't know about you, but I always do. And I've always got sort of a buffer, but most people don't. And I think after this, people start living and saving a bit more or I'm not buying this because if we have a bit of trouble, I'm not buying this and that camera. So you might see that the technology will die down, whereas people say, "Oh, I'll get it. It doesn't matter. I can afford."
Harold's
to do
kind of
that.
like that. He thinks about buying something until it's out of production anymore. So that way he never spends any money.
Well,
it's good
I
for
do.
me. I'm just the opposite. I buy way too much and then I go, I have no money. It's stupid, but I don't buy that much anymore. So.
But I do that. If I do buy it, I buy it if I can afford it. I don't buy it if it'll take me the next 2 years to pay it off.
Right.
I buy it if I've got the money and I've still got something left over. But I thought I'll just. But as I said, a lot of people with families and kids, you just can't do that. So it's just one little thing like this has done such a big bother. But like you said, there's either going to be, like I said, when it's over, either good deals in the tech business or bad, whichever way. Because I think there might be good ones to get people start to spend again.
Probably.
And then also, like they said it here, I don't know about there, but that one of the stores here, like like your Fries and all that, they're doing really well because all the people working from home, they're buying tons of monitors, tons of modems, tons of all these office chairs, tons of desks,
webcams, probably
webcams, and all that. A lot of them are doing really well at the moment with all the stock, so they'll be having
but there is one problem. Dell and a lot of other manufacturers are starting to run out of inventory because there's so many thousands and thousands of little, Dell, the laptops, the small ones that they use for business, not to mention the, what are they called? The books.
Like netbooks?
Yeah. Netbooks, I guess. They can't find enough of them. It takes a while to ramp up production on those, and they probably come from China or Taiwan.
And that's another thing. I think a lot of places it might improve, the production there in America and here in Australia because people have just got that fright that, hey, if we only rely on China, what if they're not there? And they've got that, like you said, with your toilet paper, same here. They've all panicked like that. Yeah, we get probably 60% of the stuff is made here, but the 40% isn't. So we'll never get it again. So they make plenty of it here. But what if they didn't? That's the thing where they've cut down all the manufacturing here. Nobody makes any cars and that. So if you did have time we had to make something.
Well, they were saying today that we're very low on medical supplies because 90% of that is made in China. So this is really a smart. You know what? I have to say the greed of the West is exactly what it was. You work with a country that's basically your enemy because they all think you're the enemy. They use slave labor for the most part, and that's okay as long as it's their slaves, not ours. And so the greed is what got us here, and now greed is not what's going to get us out. They've got to get smart again and rebuild. And sorry, we've got a better living rate than they do, but there's a reason for that, and they're not being kept up as a society. They're just they are to a point. China is letting more people buy things and have their own homes, sort of, which is really against communism to own anything. So it's kind of interesting what's going on there. But the Chinese economy is not strong. It's weak. They're not doing well. So it's going to be interesting to see how this affects them. Though by a miracle, that horrible virus, now they're back to work 100%, and we're all running around like chickens without heads.
But the thing is, with like all that, with China and India, people have said for years is that's great because their economies are doing well. But what happens when all the people in China start consuming all the things that they've never consumed before and selling to us?
Right.
Who are they going to supply themselves first, aren't they? So,
and that is starting to happen a bit. So
they don't consume a lot. But what happens when the main thing they do that? So that's where people have got to have people manufacturing them all else around the world. Yep. So.
Well, anyway, if you are in the industry, take a look at the link to the Slanted Lens. Take a look at the last show they did, all about how to get by in these fairly trying moments, especially if you're a videographer, a photographer, event person, or anybody. Even video editors are having some issues right now. Just take a look at that because it gives some very good advice of what to do when times get tough, and they are getting tough right now. So other than that, we'll see you next week for Tech Down Over.
Okay, bye for now.
Thanks for
Geoff.
joining in.
Bye, Harold. Thanks.
Bye.